Hippies are my friends. Come along with me, see how the story ends.
This year in review, we're your hosts, Swanky Dudes, the cat on my lap. We're the professional hippies. Hey guys, welcome back. It's our last episode for the end of the year, and hey, we're really grateful for you guys. Not grateful for that mosquito in the studio. What's good? Hey, we have really appreciated the heck out of you guys.
Really the heck out of all you guys.
And gals. I'm sure there's a lot of you that might identify as stuff that I'm not even aware of.
All the in-between.
Yeah. So thank you for being a part of our little family. If you have a chance to be on the road to visit your fam, friends, or other like-minded Zers, we hope that in this episode you'll take a look back with us and kick back, relax, and let it poison your ears, because we love you, and sometimes that's
all
toxic.
of you very much.
Yeah.
You filthy animals.
Yeah. I'm your host, Colton. That's your other host, Dylan. And welcome back to the show. Dylan, how you doing, buddy? You survived Noah's Ark?
I'm about to build one in my backyard, for real. Like, what the hell? What the heck?
So is that 2 times in 1 year your house has been attempted robbery by Mother Nature?
And it was a big warning. Like, Miami got this storm really bad. We got the storm. All up the East Coast got the storm really bad. So it wasn't just us. Our neighborhood just kind of hits a little differently because we're here in the Bay of St. Pete. And the way this storm was coming, it hit perfectly to where drug all the water out. The wind pushed a lot of the water out during low tide, and then it all came rushing back in because the wind's direction switched right at high tide and came all in. So we had high tide, and then we had a little surge above that as well.
Yeah, one of my coworkers, I guess, lives in Carolina, and they said in Charleston they had 9-10 feet of flooding.
Yeah, so this storm just like it wasn't even a hurricane; it was just a bad storm that went up the East Coast and just hit everyone going up the East Coast. It was very interesting.
The more you hear, got him. What's up?
Got him.
The more you hear about the storms and stuff going on, you got to wonder, like, I mean, the insurance companies, they're
all trying to get out of Florida. They don't. Citizens literally sent out a letter to everybody with different options to try to get them off of Citizens, but usually Citizens came in as the lower option, so most people just stuck with Citizens. But basically, Citizens said it was their way. If you didn't reply by a certain date, they were going to put you on one of the other ones. Basically, it was like they're out to get you off.
Yeah, because they have to like tell you.
They have to tell you, and then they're like, "But if you don't let us know at this date, we're going to choose one for you." And that was basically it. But I was on Citizens for one of my rental properties, and they didn't even give me the option for it. They were like, "No, we just want you off."
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. They were just like, "Nah, you got it. We're just going to give you this other option. You can get off of here." But that's a smaller one. But what I did find out is, as an insurance company, if you're like the last one in the state, you have to offer insurance. You can't not offer insurance to people.
Yeah, because I guess like we're not going to talk about insurance too long. Maybe we do. I don't know. We're crazy. We could go anywhere with this episode.
I don't know, but hold on. Let's pause this. And we're back. Power of editing. I love it.
Yeah, so my insurance dropped me for my car, but that's because someone else hit me. Did I make it that individual's fault to hit me? Yes, I did. I caused it. But the fact of the matter remains, I mean, you were on the phone. I was literally talking to you when I got hit.
2 times now. I caused it, and I was on the phone. They hit the insurance company. Everyone's going, yeah, that makes sense. The insurance company fucking dropped her.
Have you been on the phone with someone else?
Huh?
And they got in an accident? You've been on the phone with someone else and they got in an accident?
No, you're the only one I've ever been on the phone with that was in an accident.
So when you
Or
say
got
2
into it.
times, what does that mean?
No, because that was 2 hits. It was your fault, and you were on the phone while with it. So you're saying the insurance company dropped you? That's
Well, I
2
was
hit,
on the
like,
phone. It's accepted that everybody's on the phone all the time, but also
not. It is accepted by everyone, but to drop you for reasons to drop you, insurance companies are like gone.
that wasn't the reason they dropped me.
I know
They
it
dropped me
wasn't.
because they're a hater.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. No,
That
it
was
was
crazy.
On the,
When
it was
you got
on
in
the,
the accident.
I know, right?
Yeah. I'm ready to build a Noah's Ark here, though, man. And I thought it's lightning that you have to worry about when you have, you talk about growing up. Oh, there's going to be a power surge. You got to protect all your stuff during the storm, unplug it, whatever
Don't
they say,
yank
right?
it in the shower during a thunderstorm.
It's the shitty freaking electric company. So we had somewhere in the neighborhood, someone called Duke Energy that a transformer was on fire.
Not to be confused with Duke mayonnaise.
Exactly. We're not hating on Duke mayonnaise here. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Talking about the power company.
I think Duke mayonnaise at least was second in our competition of mayonnaise.
It was good. That's my favorite mayonnaise. But the competition of mayonnaise if anyone wants to watch it back in the old days, we did do a rating of mayo.
Yeah, that was disgusting. But anyway, continue on.
So they came out, and I remember seeing the Duke trucks drive by to go look at it. And I guess they just left. They didn't even do anything about it. And then a whole power surge went down the line. Like someone got a video of electricity coming outside the line.
Oh, the arcing?
It was arcing down the line. And it fucked up everyone's AC in the neighborhood. Like everyone's AC got rocked. My AC got rocked. I've got 2 sweaters on because it's actually cold in Florida for once.
Oh, it crushed your capacitor maybe for your AC?
Something. Not even my
like it won't turn on.
Well, my AC won't turn on, and the temperature gauge isn't even on. There's no even power running to that, which is weird. I got power everywhere else in my house except there. But if I don't know. I've checked. So I've got the AC guy coming out tomorrow, but
yeah,
that's where you got to worry about is when the electrical companies are dog shit and screwed. Like there's lawyers involved going in the neighborhood going to Duke. So it should be interesting.
That's a nice thing about having real adults around you. You're like, hey.
Well, especially when you have real adults that are wealthy, usually because of doctors or lawyers or something like that, and then they're affected by it, and they go, "All right, now we're going to do it." And what they're saying is, well, it's in the range of whatever it should be, and it's like, yeah, but on December 17th at 4 p.m., it sure wasn't. It was a lot higher than it needed to be.
Yeah. That's the trippy part about when the power goes out, like Austin 2 years ago or 3 years ago, they had that really gnarly freeze. And the other morning I woke up and I was like, hey, Alexa, what's the temperature? And it said 41 outside. I was like, because the day before it was like 60,
Yeah.
And then if it drops down to the 15, 20, something like that, and your power just goes out, that's a rough day.
I was I was actually got to be here because the past 2 times I couldn't be here for a flood. So I was happy I could actually be here for a flood. And I got all the shit up out of my shed, got that figured out, make sure my house was good, got that figured out. And I was like, all right, it's time. And I took a bottle of Johnny Walker Black and a speaker, went out to my kayak, threw it in there, was just kayaking around my neighborhood with Johnny Black blaring Creed across the world. It was
good
great.
Choice. That's a good choice.
Yeah. I was like, this is what we need right now. People on their balconies were like, hey. I was going up to shut down cars. Like people, for whatever reason, are trying to drive their Audis and nice ass cars through the flood. For real, they broke down the middle. So I ran. I was like, I don't got water, but I got Johnny Black if you need it.
Oh, no.
There was like a family that was here for a soccer tournament. And I guess they tried to leave that morning during the flood to get to their soccer tournament, and they just broke down. They didn't know the area. They just thought they could get through it, I guess. But it was like 2 kids and the parents. They're like, how long do you think? Is it going to be like 20 minutes? I was like, no, you're in that car for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
I'm like, y'all can come back to my place if you need to just need a place to crash. We're gonna have to walk through the water to
Right.
get there.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we'll hang out here. And I was like, well, if you gotta go to the bathroom, just go. No one's out here caring what you got to do.
So the car broke down because they flooded the engine.
They flooded the engine in it, yeah. And then there was an old guy that flooded his. It was an Audi trying to get out of there, and I was like, I don't know where you were planning on going, but I can help you if you need it. He's like, no, I'm just gonna walk back. I was like, you want to hop in the kayak? I don't know if you want help. No, I'm good. You want a shot? I got anything.
How deep was the water? Like knee high?
A couple spots it was like waist high, but probably like knee high, thigh high most of the spots.
Just fun to get out and explore.
I just wanted to do it in a kayak, you know.
Yeah.
Just I went down the richest part of the neighborhood. Like I got to picture all these like $1 million homes, and I'm just kayaking by them. Oh, they're all taking pictures. They're like, you don't see that every day.
Yeah. That's the cool part about though when like tough stuff does happen. It tends to like bring out the worst and the best.
Oh, there was the worst was so the worst is because from the prior floods the past couple of years, they people will come from out of the neighborhood or in the neighborhood with their jacked up trucks and just like bulldoze and cause like huge wakes, and those wakes go right into the homes and cause like more flooding. So they were on it this time. Like people were like yelling, like throwing. If you had a car coming by causing a wake, they were throwing stuff at like the cars.
Yeah.
Just like, what are you doing, man? So that was like a heated thing. That brought out the worst in some people for sure.
Well, as long as you hang nuts from the back of your truck, though, everyone's going to understand.
Everyone
you
goes,
are the alpha.
Make sure it's slapping the water.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's been my day. Well, my bathroom's almost done. They've finally been out here working on it. It's almost done.
How about that?
Right there.
How about that?
I can at least take a shower now and go to the bathroom.
No kidding.
With a light.
You dog.
So, I know, dude. I got
How does
excited.
that feel?
They told me that, and I was like, let me cover up my pants. Sorry. Get me excited.
So how long before you and your wife live together permanently?
Probably come the new year.
From the new year?
That's what I'm hoping. We still don't have a door on the bathroom, but they just put in trim today. So probably before the new year. We'll be in there.
Yeah. Door is important for marriage?
I would assume so, a little bit.
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm trying to throw the parties before she gets here, you know?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I get that. We're actively trying to throw parties now.
Y'all are about to move back to good old Florida here soon.
Well, now she different job, so we're kind of feeling into what the timeline looks like for that. Is it soon? Is it eventually? I don't know.
Who
I'm
knows?
just going with the flow, man. I had a win today, just recently here before we got on the podcast. I was like, we've been meaning to decorate a little bit more. And we just couldn't settle on styles, meaning she didn't like mine. So today I was like, one thing I really miss is I loved that artwork I did at my house where I made the ant farm out of the picture frame. I was like, I want another one of those. I'm just going to build a giant ant farm.
Maybe give them some oxygen this time.
They had plenty of oxygen last time.
Why'd they all die?
Ants only live like 3 to 5 months. I mean, sometimes I think they'll go up to like 6, 7 months.
That's true. It's hard to fuck when someone's watching you. So
only one ant fucks. That's the queen.
They must have been shy. Oh, there might have been a queen in there.
Yeah, no, I wasn't digging like 4 feet into the ground to get the queen. And then she would overproduce in the frame, so like it would just literally have larvae everywhere. And
you're like, shit, we gotta get a bigger frame.
Yeah. Once I understood that the ants, they're not in distress. They don't skip a beat. They're programmed to do their job. They all essentially, as long as you have enough of them, they all communicate the sense needed for their senses to work. So
that's how the government wishes we worked. For sure.
Well, I mean, imagine if instead of going around grabbing ass, we just sniffed ass and we were extremely productive, then then they'd have a reason to put us in more cages.
For real. That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah. It's like, what even ever happened to $5 footlongs?
Bro, right? I wanted
Aren't they
those.
like $6.99 now?
And they
It's not
lost
even
the
real
lawsuit. And they lost a lawsuit, and so everyone accepts now that it's not a foot long.
Is there? It's not. Oh, was the lawsuit because it was under 12 inches?
Yeah, so they measured like 5 of them. They're like a half an inch or an inch under it.
Oh, you can't lie about an inch.
They've got to be consistent. Well, the bread starts as a foot long,
Sure.
but once you bake it and everything shrinks up, then it's under it, and it's like
It's a little ticky tack though.
It's like meat. It's like when you
Yeah.
grill meat. It says it starts as a pound, but then it gets smaller
True.
when you cook it.
Yeah. And typically meat would get bigger when you cook it.
Mm-mm.
No? The more you put
Mm-mm.
into meat, the bigger it gets, or no?
Have you ever grilled a patty?
I was just making an innuendo to a penis. But, I mean, I suppose.
Yeah, if you put more blood in a penis, but we're getting rid of things in the meat that we're cooking. Throw a penis on the grill. Watch how fast that happens.
Oh, somewhere on the internet. It's out there.
You can get buffalo penis out there for sale.
That's true. I mean, I guess, yeah. You know, it doesn't even have to be human penis.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. There's all kinds of amazing animal dick. I mean, that's somewhere a delicacy.
It's the perfect holiday gift for some people, I'm sure.
Talk about a stocking.
If you're
Stuffer.
thinking of a stocking stuffer,
Get stuffed.
that takes us to our ad to. No, I'm just kidding. Sponsored by We Have the Meats.
This actually is a great time to tell you about our sponsor. Do you ever wonder if you can trust folks? Well, I've got some news for you. You can trust strangers. If you go over to testkitplus.com/professional hippies, there's a lot of stuff you can stuff into your stocking. All this stuff's probably going to keep you safe and have a lot of fun. So check it out. The next time you'll be hearing about them, it's going to be a little bit more polished. So this is going to be your last time to get an organic, free-range, non-GMO ad read by testkitplus.com. Head over there. Get stuffed.
That was good.
Thanks.
That was good for our last one.
Yeah. Yeah, we should clip that. I mean, that's everything they've been probably wanting from us.
If they're watching. They're like, those guys got it. Just send them the link.
What do you think? I hate to go down this rabbit hole, but what is this experience, if nothing else, but then just to really poke at thoughts and see what do you think the fucking craziest animal dick out there is?
Probably an elephant.
I mean, what's the criteria? Are we just going for length?
Biggest and thickest is probably an elephant. Yeah.
You don't think a rhino had had some girth in that battle?
Nah, I think an elephant's going to get him.
I'm willing to bet you that a rhino could go head to head.
Because think about this. Because think about this. Every species dick is evolution, so it doesn't drag. Right?
Is that true?
I have never, at every Animal Planet thing I have ever watched, there's never been a dragging penis.
So we're both going to pretend you don't secretly research animal penises and get off on that?
You tell me in high school you never looked up the biggest dick on the planet?
I did not. I didn't.
I did. And I know an elephant's a pretty girthy one.
You know what's weird though is I saw a rhino's dick. No, yeah, that's what I saw at the zoo for sure. Yeah, tough call. I think elephant. I think
now,
elephant.
Wildest one, anything in the sea. I don't know how that works.
Oh, I was gonna say. Well, okay, so from what I remember from Blue Planet,
Jellyfish.
the sperm whale, I think it's like 150 gallons of sperm at a time, something like that.
That's why the ocean's salty.
Dude, That's a little unnecessary. I mean, how many is it taking?
There's a large cavity they got to fill, so you know.
Damn! What are your Christmas plans, bro?
Going to the aquarium, obviously.
Checking in with Santa, measuring it twice.
Measuring it twice, making sure it was naughty and not nice.
Yeah, no, sincerely, 2023 was a beautiful year. I think in a lot of ways, this might have been the most humbling year for me.
Tell me.
What would you say? What was your highlight, low light, and most surprising event of 2023?
I got a few of those. Highlight, obviously getting married. Like that was there. A lot of all the planning went to that. Highlight was getting married. Beautiful time. All our friends, family. You got to come to that. Of course, like being surrounded by my bros for the wedding day. That was awesome. Just that whole experience was cool. Another highlight probably was backpacking by myself. I got to do that. I've always wanted to do that. That was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
That was quite a journey for me. Low time was probably right after I got back from that backpacking trip and I was with my family while my grandmother was passing. Also beautiful as well, heartbreaking, but beautiful moment. Trying to understand that and go through that. And thankfully I could be there with my family. Like all of us were together. That was beautiful that we could all be there for each other during that moment. But also coming at that same time, my entire neighborhood and my house was flooded at the exact same time. So that was probably like my lowest point was right there, having to deal with all that. The rest of the year was pretty like just having to deal with some other stuff. Christy's family, having some deals with stuff with that. And so it was a roller coaster of a year for me, for sure.
Mm-hmm. What about surprising? We got anything surprising and snuck in there?
Surprising that snuck in there?
Job
change. Job change happened.
Yeah,
good,
that's a good one.
Good transition of a job change. That was surprising.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't expecting to do that this year, and I did it. It worked out great. It's been awesome. I'm very thankful. I think the new company I went to, they would not have been as gracious or anything at my last company with everything I had to go through this year. Giving me the time off to deal with it, being there, like asking how are things going.
Yeah.
I do not think TriNet would have been as good for me during that time frame.
Yeah, fuck them.
Exactly. Management, I love my new boss. I love my new team.
Yeah.
Everything's going well with them. So that was probably the biggest surprise.
Mm-hmm. Found a good spot, good family.
Yeah. Good work family, work culture. And it's like TriNet was cool. I learned the product, I learned the system, I know how that works. And now that I learn how that works, I've moved to a new company to sell the product in a better capacity.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Yeah. Those are some good ones, buddy. Yeah, so I think let me think. I gotta say, it's almost like my getting married was the most surprising and the best. And not low, but surprising and highlight for sure.
Mm-hmm.
What a fucking journey that was. But we'll reserve that as a highlight. I was talking to a friend about it the other night at Dean's birthday party. We had a little shindig over there.
Cool.
And they're asking me about Burning Man. They're like, "Oh, you got married there?" And like, "What's that story?" And I'm like, gut instinct is first reply is like, "It was a shit show," But the further you get away from it, it's like, God, isn't that what marriage is all about? Is like the real stuff
Hmm.
and really sharing a life with someone. Um, I think that's been one of the surprising things of this year in marriage with Abby is that um, there's a sense of comfort that's coming from knowing like I don't have to uh, look a certain way or carry myself a certain way, that this person loves me on a depth that like they see past like short little moments of my life, so I
Hmm.
don't have to be perfect. So it's been this weird recalibration kind of year for me on a lot of levels. Like that, my low, I don't know if it was a moment, but I think so. This is like the least amount of money I've had, I think, in a decade or so. And that has caused me to really recalibrate what's important, what I'm optimizing for. Um, I definitely learned this year that job's a job and you can push yourself for so long, but at a certain point, um, what this year has kind of taught me is that like it's okay to be optimistic and grounded and be realistic about things. Like give some stuff a time to like breathe, and don't be afraid to kill stuff. Like kill
Hmm.
some dreams, you know? Because I think that was one thing that I'm still trying to work out what all of that means and the muse and behind that. But um, 2023 had like a fucking roller coaster to it, of just like getting slapped with meanings and stuff. It was not a coast through year, that's for sure. For me,
Mm-mm.
it wasn't one of them like you look back at the end of the year and you're like, where'd it go? I was just fucking vacationing the whole year. Like life
2022 is
showed up
harder
this year.
harder than 2020 and 2021, in my
I think
opinion.
2020 was like one of my favorite years of
I
me
had a
on this planet.
great time in
Dude, that was a
2020.
fucking blast.
Man, I was crushing bucket lists that year. I was like, we're just getting out there. Screw this thing.
Yeah.
Everything's cheap right now.
I could honestly sign up for a pandemic once every 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Stay healthy and make a pandemic happen. Drive the cost of things down for a little bit.
Right? A couple years of now I didn't like the systemic inflation that came from it. Right? This whole idea of
Back end of it is pretty terrible. That's why you do it
it's
every
pretty
5
tough.
years. You keep a good
Pretty
rotation
tough.
going.
Yeah. I was thinking the other day, I think a video triggered this thought, and it was kind of the question of like, what am I optimizing for? I think the video was something about like, don't forget, like the reason we're here to live is for experiences. And I think sometimes it gets glorified, like making money, especially. Like that's the thing I've been optimizing so much of my life for.
Mhm.
And sometimes I wonder if some of the lessons that came out of 2023 were to teach me to optimize for experiences, because that's what I've always like shoehorned money back for experiences and been frugal, but I always felt depressed because I wasn't a millionaire yet,
Mhm.
right? Versus accepting like I don't want to do the trade-offs to be a millionaire, to make $1 million in a year, hard work wise. I'd love the law of attraction, that shit. But like what I love is experiences and optimizing for that. Um, I don't know. Yeah, it just had me thinking. That's something I've been thinking about the last couple of days.
I thought about
Yeah.
that too. A lot of like trying to, because they talk about save, save, save. That's how you do it, and then you put money into these things and grow it. And I have done that, but I'm also been like, but I kind of want to go backpacking this year, or I kind of want to do this trip. And it's going to cost money in order
Yeah.
to make that happen,
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's a weird balance of trying to do things you want to do and have fun, but also like store money away, right? Or put it
Yeah.
into some investments you want to do, and trying to learn that balance.
Like surely life isn't about just working to eke out a life. You know, like it's a very fortunate. I think it there's a lot of people in a lot of tough spaces, but for whatever reason, we hit the lottery, population lottery, and have done a bunch of cool shit. And so misery's relative, but in my space and place on this planet, I'm like, I just surely life's more than just like working to save a bunch of money so that one day you don't have to think about money, right? Like, aren't we always going to be afraid of losing our money?
I think that's everybody, though. Everyone says that, but I think that's been all of life for everybody. Even, you know, still have to store up things when you're, you know, if you also you kind of have to prepare. If I always look at it as, if I don't have anybody when I get older to help take care of me, am I going to be able to take care of myself? There needs to be something there
Yeah.
to help prep for it.
Well, it sure does beat the days of putting corn, wheat, and some clay pots.
Because let's say it was back in, you know, let's say Native American times, right? There wasn't money. It was just you go out, get your food, you take care of yourself, you live off the land.
Yeah.
You didn't have money, but you still like had kids to help take care of you when you got older. That was your currency. You had to build the tribe.
Relationships.
You had to build your relationships and make sure the tribe was running good. So that way, when you became elderly, they were there to take care of you. That was your currency.
Also, I feel like they fucking lived, man. You know, like really soaked in the juice of life, and so getting old wasn't something to be afraid of.
They had a lot more time to think about, but you still had war tribes. You still had to like.
Well, dying of getting old and dying of getting scalped, I think, are very different experiences.
Sure, but you still had to like live through that and make sure you didn't get scalped.
For sure.
Or make sure you didn't get.
That's part of the living part. That's part of the war cry.
That's part of the living. That's part of the learning.
That was their version of EDM. Okay.
Let's go, boys.
Everyday murdering.
Let's go to the other stage.
Check out that base canyon. Let's send some buffalo down it.
Let's send the buffalo down the base canyon.
Yeah. Yeah, like so when it comes to 2024, what are some of the things that you think you're looking forward to the most?
Living with my wife. That'll be nice.
Good answer. Yeah, that was a good one. She still listen to the podcast?
That's my backup. Making sure she Love you, honey. Yeah, living with my wife will be a good one. Building on my career at the new company.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be one. And probably like doing some big trips before we start having kids. Like that's like the last hurrah. Like we're doing Burning Man. I don't know if any other time going forward I'll probably be able to do it after this year.
Mm-hmm.
Or next year. Doing probably one or two more festivals. I got a buddy's bachelor party, Joey's.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be planning, so that'll be a good one in Key West. And maybe a little international travel or something. I don't know. Maybe going to Bulgaria. We'll see. But yeah, kind of like the last, before we start having kids, probably the last time to start doing some big trips.
Yeah. Yeah, we're thinking the same. Maybe Mexico, I think, is where I want to do a little inclusive trip with Abby.
That'd be nice. Yeah, do like a secrets. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're really focused on generating income next year. I think taking a year off made some habits lazy, but it's been an interesting 2022 leading into 2023. Yeah, just 2023 all the way around was weird, man. I think a lot of people probably lost their identity in 2020. And for me, this year was kind of that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I guess I'm experiencing what like the servers did when they couldn't go to work and be in the service industry. And then what do they bitch about? What do they complain about? You know?
Mm-hmm.
I could have teed that joke up better. But anyway, so 2024 for sure, I think is going to be a year of like kind of momentum building, right? Like sacrificing, but at the same time appreciating. Because
Mhm.
it feel, for me at least, it feels like we're turning that corner in adulthood where you go like, all right, like if I'm going to get drunk, there's a reason why I'm not getting just
Yeah.
hammered on a Tuesday. Um, like saying no to some stuff to say yes to other stuff that is kind of a big yes. Like it's a responsibility. Yes.
Yeah. Like we went to that Subtronics. Seth, Mike, and I went to that Subtronics a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they come on. The shows come on at like the artist comes on at like 1 a.m.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And by then, you're just like, God dang.
Where's a lawn chair?
Pushing one. I would have paid anybody a bunch of money if I could have had a chair in there for sure.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost like when we went to our first festivals, we were at the front rail, just giving it hell, headbanging, and an age is just moving you back through the crowd, slowly towards the jam bands in the back with hula hoops and the inflatable vaginas, and you're like,
I tell you what, it is way more flow artists back there, so it's fun to watch the spinning lights. A lot more back there. You don't get the spinning lights at the front.
I mean, and the bathrooms.
And the bathrooms are right there too.
You know, I'm a guy. I gotta go 10 times a set, at least 5. I don't know, like no joke, multiple times every set. I'm just like, I'm uncomfortable. I'm slightly perturbed. I need to go to the bathroom.
No more pissing in the bottles at the rail. Throwing
Yeah,
it at security. Yeah, don't do that.
yeah, or cups.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was an interesting year for sure.
mm-hmm. I think next year is going to be a great year.
It was a great year for this podcast too. Thank you to all the new listeners that are here. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Numbers boosted up like crazy. We had a good year. We had some great guests on. Looking
We
forward
got
to
some
more
really
new
good
guests
Yeah.
that we got lined up and working on lining up. We're throwing some Hail Marys out there, some bigger guests, see if they'll come on.
Yeah.
But we couldn't do that without all you listeners listening, following, giving feedback. We appreciate you.
It's going to be really funny to see what this looks like in 10 years. Like, are we really going to be able to retire and just banter with each other?
I hope so.
God damn, I hope so. How much fun is that going to be?
Be an old man doing shots on here.
You know? Like, sometimes I see people on, like, TikTok or something, and I'm like, and they got it, it clicked, everything came together, and they're just fucking crushing it. I'm like, that's nice.
You know what I honestly can't look forward to is when I can, like, we're doing this podcast and maybe we're working for our own, or maybe we're retired and we don't have to worry about much of anything. And I can just eat the mushrooms on here and then be here on mushrooms. And I don't have to worry about other things worrying about that I'm doing that.
Yeah. Like that true freedom when you see people like
give
Two
people
Bears,
that
One
visual
Cave,
experience.
Joe Rogan, all those folks where it's just like they have escaped the atmosphere and they just don't give a fuck. I want to do that.
Fortunately, can't right now because there's a cap on things and making sure people watching this, but one day we'll be there for you guys to do that.
That day just might come unannounced. That day could be like a very low key, slow day.
Like, no. I'm just kidding. Just breaks out a bag.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. What else, man?
But I thought it was a good year of we got 2 ads. We got 2 sponsors or affiliates, so that's awesome. We're building up on it.
Mm-hmm.
Technically good
3.
Year, man.
Technically 3. Technically 3.
Technically 3. That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I think there's a lot to look forward to. I think, 2023 humbled me, and I think it brought out the best, and in a lot of ways for a lot of people.
Yeah. You know what is one of the worst things around this time of the year? Mega churches.
Ooh,
Why? Have you seen some of those TikToks and stuff coming out with all the mega churches doing all these like shows and shit? Like the
Yeah.
ones flying across the sky.
a lot
In there?
of churches have the flyers. A lot of mega churches have the flyers. I've only seen one video where they brought in real camels.
I saw that one too. What the hell? What the hell? Like everyone gets on
you?
Huh? It angered me. Yeah.
Why?
I was like, all right, let's think about this. That camel, to rent that camel, how much do you think that probably costs? Let's go with it. For 3 hours, let's go with $200.
On the low, for
Just
sure.
on the low, right?
Sure, hooking up the homie Jesus.
$200, right? I'm gonna go with this. How much is a rotisserie chicken at Publix? Probably
Gold plated
$9.
200. Yeah,
let's go with like $7 to $9.
sure.
I'm guessing. Let's go
Yeah.
$10 to round it off, right?
Yeah.
That's 20 rotisserie chickens they could have bought and took out to the community. And this is just talking about one show. This isn't
Mhm.
talking about like if I was a person that went to that church and saw, and that's talking about one camel, $200. I'm not talking about all the crazy light show equipment, everyone working there, all
Yeah.
the other shit that they rented. They had like 4 camels in there.
Oh, they had
Think of-
zebras too. They had all kinds of crazy stuff.
They had a bunch of crazy stuff. If I was part of that congregation, I'd be so mad. Like, this is what my money is going to.
I don't
Does it
think
take
you
care
would
of
be
this?
though. I'll be honest. I don't think you would be.
You know
They're
what? You're right, 'cause I
Probably
would be-
throwing it in their face how much
I wouldn't
they
be
are doing.
brainwashed. I wouldn't be brainwashed into thinking like
For
this is
sure. And that's the other part of, I mean, because I got a little piffed when I saw that too. Feeling entitled to money that I don't feel like I should have a say on. But I can also see the argument because I've seen quite a few videos where they're talking about like the wastefulness of church and just the image that it's portraying, etc. There's a lot of people at that church that probably wouldn't be at that church if they didn't have, their audiovisual experience going on the way it is, right? So they're trying to
Then why-
contemporize
you're not at
worship.
church for the right reasons, in my opinion.
Well, then
If
you're
that's-
getting into a pretty fucking nuanced conversation of people deciding what their good book says. And that, again, comes back to why I'm like, the the Old Testament and the New Testament is a book of interpretation.
But if you're
And-
at that church and you're saying you're at that church I'm here because this helps the community and I'm here because I'm worshiping the Lord. Okay, maybe if it's there for your worshiping your Lord and you think your Lord wants all the lasers and stuff, sure. But not once should that say that's helping our community at all.
Right.
Not once. They're like, oh, we do one food drive a year and we feed the homeless one time a year around Thanksgiving, and that's our giving back.
I'm
Okay.
sure they do a lot of community outreach. I mean, those mega churches have a ton of resources.
I bet they don't. I 100% bet they don't.
Well,
I mean, I'll give you the greatest example that we all
still
know
only
about.
$50 for the RV. So
I give you a great example of Joel Osteen during the flooding that happened, and then decided
Katrina.
not to lock that shit up.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. That's
Yeah.
just one example. And then they found all that money in the walls
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
his church facility, and
Well-
that's just because he's the biggest one.
So I thought I'd be the last person to come to the defense of Mega Christ, but Joel Osteen's
Mega
probably
Christ.
a pretty big piece of shit. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's tough to wrap my head around a lot of televangelists, and I don't know if you consider them televangelists.
Even
but-
televangelist is the worst. They're the worst.
Is
one.
Joel Osteen a televangelist?
He's both. He's got a church and he's a televangelist. He's got
Right.
both going for him.
Okay, yeah.
But
Because I don't want to seem like a hater. I mean, I am 100%. Like,
in
fuck
my
you.
opinion, a priest or a pastor, that should not be your full-time job at all. In my opinion, that should be this is something I like to do because this is what I believe in, and I want to give more effort than most people.
But that's the beautiful
in
part
order
about
to do this.
religion and that's why no one will ever follow you, is because you clearly don't channel.
I'm not trying to start a religion. I'm just trying to help the community and do my thing.
What if that's what your calling is, and you're denying God?
But it's great when all these churches keep failing and they're like, we do everything. We do everything. It's like,
what churches are failing?
Churches are failing everywhere. Go to any downtown where there's a bunch of old churches and you'll see a bunch of them shut down.
But I think they're failing because they're not contemporizing the church. You see what I mean?
They're not getting on with the times and being like, oh, we should probably help with the community instead of trying to
camels and get away from the community. No one gives a fuck about feeding the homeless. Okay, what they care about is a man coming in a tripwire.
But that's their church's thing. That's what they should be doing. I agree with you. They shouldn't have a tripwire and things running across the sky in order to make them look good. I don't think you are
agreeing with me, because I'm saying they should. They should have that. That's how they get me in there.
Maybe they pay a homeless person to fly across the sky. That's what they need to be doing.
Oh, dude, now you're coming with the ideas, bro. That's how you put bacon in the macaroni and cheese.
Instead of leading a camel, let's put a leash on one. Let's get them going across. Here's a burger. I'm going to put this leash on you. I need you to act as a camel. Give me a couple grunts.
Yeah.
We'll be all right.
And I mean, think about how much more interesting, not the mega church that we're talking about in that TikTok, but let's say are the Pentecostals that speak in tongues, right? So you have a Pentecostal mega church with a whole bunch of cleaned up, mentally ill homeless people, right? So you have them, they have lockers, get them some clean clothes, shower them.
Why don't churches use the pews as beds and let people in there to sleep?
Oh, because homeless people are going to be Dirty Mike and the boys all over that.
They kick them out. You don't let them back in.
Well, that's what they already did. They're actively doing that plan. They have kicked them out and they said, don't come back.
Yeah, but most churches don't let anybody in outside of church.
It's the perception, man. It's the perception.
Okay, why do you have to go to TikTok to find these kids giving homeless people food, meal, and money just so they can be on TikTok? Why doesn't a pastor bring in a homeless person and be like, look at this degenerate loser. Look at him. He doesn't have anything. We're going to give him everything.
When you roll up on people doing like a food drive or, any type of humanitarian work, but your mind does typically go to a religious group. It doesn't typically go, oh, that's probably a bunch of just cool people doing cool stuff.
Sure.
So most of the good favors being done to the community, just outward community outreach, are religious groups.
I don't think so. I think there's a lot of other groups in the area that do stuff, and it's not. I mean,
look at it's out of their kindness in their heart, not them obeying the goodwill of God.
Yeah, like look at I don't know, Metropolitan Ministries here in Tampa. Great, great foundation. They do a ton of fundraisers in order to get funding. A lot of companies give to them. That isn't a religious group. That's an actual and they're one of the biggest in the area. And then I don't know if the Salvation Army is a Christian group.
The group that has ministries in the name is not a religious group.
I'm pretty sure they're not. No.
What the fuck? I mean, my tone does not reflect my genuine curiosity. What does the ministry stand for?
Of everything, there was not once brought up about a church or congregation or nothing.
What does the ministry stand for?
I think it's just a ministry. Like we're a congregation of people trying to help people. I mean, there was not one chapel. There was not one church. There was not one anything. They go, we get all of our money.
Which is really kind of what the Bible speaks to as far as what a church should be.
I agree with you. I feel like they're doing it right.
Right. Yeah, right.
But they're not like, oh, it's God and this and that and this is what they don't have.
Just hear me out. Hear me out. I mean, if I was,
and I could be 100% wrong on that. That
omniscient.
I don't know.
I think I might put a provision in the good book that in a couple thousand years, they're gonna have dope light systems, specifically lasers, and it should be in the house of God. If I'm God, which in my perspective I am, I'm gonna make a mental footnote to put that in the next book that I have a hand in writing. Because I'm God.
I just don't think pastors should be driving around Cadillacs and living in nice homes.
Cadillacs, that's where you draw the line? Dude, I'm fine with a Cadillac. It's
And
probably
paid for
the
by the
Rolls Royce
congregation.
that chaps my ass, or the
That
private
too.
jet.
That's
where I start going, I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's leave the private jets for the oil tycoons and the software billionaires. Maybe not the guy selling holy water on TV. Just my thought.
I don't know, folks. Just when you're out there going to your church's holiday stuff, if it seems a little over the top, it probably is.
Like, if we could find a way to bend things in society that look really bad, like the way that they did with the cannabis industry and attaching the taxes from that to the school system, do a similar thing with like strip clubs and food drives, like tits for tots, and they're just throwing tater tots at homeless people topless. I think that's how you get the community involved.
Yeah, I agree with that. Tits for tots. I love this idea. This should be our philanthropy in the future. This is Professional Hippies' future philanthropy, folks. I think that's a great idea. That's an awesome idea. Holy cow.
How much do you think it would cost? Hold on, let me collect myself because I know we're going to clip this shit. How much do you think it would cost to rent a line of strippers to do a food drive? So you had people come up and get their food while the strippers are topless.
Bro, I think if it's there in their off hours, we could just do it they'll probably do it as a write-off. That's their time.
True. A lot of
just
strippers,
pitch it to them.
Some strippers are savvy.
Just be like, look, this is for the kids. We need your help.
Oh, say, okay, I don't know that you could have nipples out for the kids. I think there's a line we got to draw there somewhere. Then it's equality. You know, you would need male strippers with their dicks out. That's weird. You don't want
true.
That. You know?
And you got to go both. You got to get male and female strippers.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So if it's a community food drive, right? We have the males and females, different shapes, sizes, genders, colors, whatever. I think a lot of people can get behind that, and you get the LBGQ&I community involved.
Mm-hmm.
Did I miss that one? LGBTQI?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think it's LGBTGAY.
Yeah. If you get them involved, dude, that community rallies thick, right? They're supporting titties. They're supporting dicks. Now you have a lot of money to fund this project with. I really think we could go somewhere with this, Dylan. I think this is a good idea.
I think this is a great idea. And we might not even make it a kid-friendly event. It's just adults, and we're here to raise the money for the kids for it to go to that.
I was double tapping. It is not a kid-friendly event.
It's not a kid-friendly event. This is a pure adult event, and this is all going for the kids. Dude, we could raise some serious money on that.
Who do we talk to? This is when I move back to Tampa, when we move back to the St. Pete area or whatever.
Yeah.
We can make something happen there.
Dude, there's probably tons of milk thrown out by Publix we could get to pour it on these ladies and men.
Oh my God, dude. This is honestly getting me excited.
You want to pour some milk on someone hot?
Yeah.
Give us $100.
It's like a stripper-driven food drive.
Yeah.
God, dude, who wouldn't want to go to that?
We'll rent out an old church. Dude, there's plenty of them everywhere. We'll just rent out an old church.
You madman. I love it. Dude, sometimes you just crap out these little thoughts, and I'm like,
this is how the Lord would have wanted it.
That's why
he created these bodies. Let's put them to use.
Oh, that would be the most glorious event. And I mean,
dude,
I legitimately think we could pull this off.
I think we could do this.
Dude, there's no doubt in my mind. Like, you put that event for free on Facebook, right? Or you just say, hey, we're charging $20 at the door cover, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the food, all the money collected goes to charity, right? And then we have food donated from local places there if someone wants to come get a meal. So you got homeless guys, and hopefully the church, we can get a church has a little stage, right? So you have strippers going on
Plenty
up there.
of stages at churches.
I'm thinking tits on the stage, dick serving the food, right?
I think they rotate. You gotta give them breaks. Yeah. You gotta rotate them.
Yeah. True.
And they're serving the food in just aprons. Like, you switch out, you're serving the food, you just got the apron on.
Are there health and safety guidelines we have to follow around that?
It's a charity. No. Have you ever seen a health inspector at any charity event? I haven't. Not one.
If there's an event that they would show up to, it would be the strippers give back.
All right, they got to put gummers on. We got to protect pubes. Can't be getting into the food here.
What would we call that? The strippers give back. Like, we've taken everything from your husband, so now it's time to give it back to you too. Tits for tots. I don't know. Yeah.
We do tits for tots, and then we get a live stream of it going in the Sphere in Las Vegas.
Well, that we would need to work up to that.
We work up to that. That'd be cool.
Dylan, I'm serious as a heart attack. This is so inspirational for me right now. I want to write this down as a 2024 goal.
We have the top strip clubs in the country, so the product is here already.
Man, I wish I didn't feel the tingling I do in the bottom of my stomach, but thinking this could be it could be fucking nothing. It could be stupid, right? But I think it would be fucking awesome.
We could do it probably 2 times a year. Mm-hmm. You could probably get it 2 times a year, like a spring and a fall.
Yeah. I mean, how many strip clubs are in Tampa? At least 15, 20.
I assume.
Right? And so 1 or 2 of them is bound to be like, yeah, we'll talk to our strippers and see if they want to donate some of their time. And we'll just do it during the day. It's not like you got to fucking do it at night and take away from their hours or something. Be like, hey.
I'm sure these strip clubs would want to be a sponsor.
Yeah. Like
they'd want to be a sponsor to be helping to, like, think of a strip club. What strip clubs are out there sponsoring charities? I've never seen one.
I've never seen one.
They'd probably be so excited. They're like, oh, a charity.
Strip clubs have got to be swimming in money.
They're like, we can help with this. And it's a tax write-off, 100%. Like, where is their money going for tax write-off? I mean, they probably got the mafia.
What we start doing is curtailing, like, the only way to give back to the community is through the religious groups, right? With the exception of the missionaries, monasteries group that you referenced earlier. And we start attaching the industries like the liquor businesses, like the strip clubs, to organizations that really make a boots on the ground difference for the community. I fucking like it.
I like the idea. I think we should somehow start planning this. I think this is a work in progress. If anyone's listening to this that wants to help, please.
What do we start with? A good name? I mean, the drive can be
tots.
The drive can be tits for tots, but I think we would need to establish like a formal company business name. Tits for Tots presented by the Professional Hippies.
God, that sounds so good.
Are the tots children? Because I don't know that we can associate like tits and tots.
We're all a kid at heart. We're all a kid at heart. So not
tits for tots, tits and tots.
Tits and tots.
Now we're cooking.
And anyone that's like, oh, I don't want to use this money to go take care of the kids, we'll be doing more than any of y'all are doing.
Yeah.
Any of y'all at all in your entire life, and definitely way more than your churches are doing.
Well,
and then at the charity, we want to thank God for all these beautiful titties.
yeah. So the
that he gave
criteria
us
for
today.
me would be strippers as entertainers and servers. A hear me out, potential real organization that the money goes to that
Yeah.
we feel good about, that is not associated with any religion, just cool people that give a fuck and don't suck the money dry with administration fees.
There are some there are programs out here. I forgot the name of them. I wish I remembered them. That legitimately are here in the Tampa, Brandon area that are just like volunteers that work there that help people from the ground up, like people that are coming out of prison or have been on drugs, whatever, that are like people that are trying to get their shit out. They go, okay, this is how you build a resume. This is how you do this. This is how you file your taxes. Like legit, like groups here. Hey, I went to one where it was a place like that, and they had a little food market there, and people just donated stuff, and people could come in that are desperate and need their kids and do like a grocery shopping style. And it was like, that was a legit place. And I go, where, like, are y'all getting a lot of money and stuff? And they're like, I mean, not as much as we should be, but like we do get donations and stuff. I was like, these people right here are doing exactly what should be done.
Yeah.
For the community. They are actively doing, like, they even had like a little, right next door. They even had like a little medical center. And it was doctors donating their time, and people have medical equipment. They donate to them and give out to the community, crutches and stuff when people needed it. I was like, this right here is where it's at.
Yeah. I feel like, let's hone in on that. I'm going to add that to my 2024. I think we aim for our first one to be in the fall.
Man,
we'll do our first one next fall. I feel good about committing to that.
Like we could get it in a church or just a little larger facility. That'd be awesome.
I think a church just feels so good because of, what it represents. It might make some people feel dirty, because I think it would just be a beautiful sentiment to bring the upper echelon of the community together with the lower echelon and in between.
And then we report all the numbers. And when people give a shit, I'll be like, where's your treasury? Has your church ever told you how much they gave to each little spot they're giving money to?
Yeah.
And we don't spread it out. We go, this is where it's going. This is who it's helping. This is what it's doing.
I love that. I love that. And I would love to try and get a TV spot promoting tits and tots.
Radio, TV spot. We'll buy I mean, if we can afford it, we'll get a billboard right on Dale Mabry, right next to all the strip clubs. Bam.
Yeah. I'm a fan of this idea. Okay. Well, hey, if you guys are out there and you can think of any better campaign names for this, send it to our Instagram, Professional Hippies, or TikTok. TikTok's getting some traction now. Go be a follower there, whatever it's called, subscriber. I don't know. But if you have any good ideas around the tits and tots or any other drives we could do, we'd love to hear from it. We'd love to also hear what your goals are for 2024. 2023 is all but behind us. And if you guys didn't pick up on it earlier, thank you. We love you.
Thank you, guys.
One hell of a ride.
Love you, filthy animals.
We do.
Merry Christmas, you filthy
Even if you
animals.
don't identify as an animal, smash that like and subscribe button. Helps the algorithm. All right. See you guys next year.
Peace.